I'ma keep it a bean. Stick to the script every scene. These from last year, but they clean. Say to say, I'ma take something else, but it's winning team. Charlie Sheen, fam gang the regime. I'm from Piney Green.
What's good, Shellitronnn here. You can call me Shells, and I'm back at it again with a brand new video. And I gotta keep it a Bowberry biscuit. This is some huge news that just dropped for the Carolina Panthers. I don't want to give any more intro to this. Throw this tweet up right here from the one and only Ian Rappaport. He says, the deal is tentatively agreed to and is expected to be processed at the start of the league year. The Chargers are trading left tackle Russell Okung to the Panthers in exchange for standout offensive lineman Trai Turner, sources say. A swap of big-time O-linemen. Nothing is final until it's official. So it ain't over till it's actually over. Nothing's been signed yet. But right now, you can probably just go ahead and believe what's being said right here. We are trading a right guard for a left tackle, and I don't know exactly how to feel about this, and I don't think a lot of Panthers fans know how to feel about this because this is a very confusing, not only confusing, but it's a very deep-seated kind of third, fourth level kind of trade here where there are levels to this where, okay, the team did need a left tackle, but now that we've gotten rid of our right guard, we need a right guard now, and we did not get any picks for him. But on the other hand, you have to think, well, the team was probably going to use a draft pick on a left tackle this season anyway. And if you just trade him away for picks, what kind of picks did you expect to get for Trai Turner? At best, maybe a second, but I'm thinking teams probably going to give you a third or a fourth for the guy. And since it was likely the team was going to go in the draft and pick a left tackle, did you want to go into the draft and pick a left tackle with the third or fourth round pick? Probably not. So trading away a right guard for a left tackle who is a Pro Bowler, a two-time Pro Bowler, Trai Turner, he got more than that. But I can kind of see where you would think, okay, maybe we can see that as kind of even, but that does not include contract situations. Obviously, we know that Trai Turner still has 2 more years on his contract, and he's going to have a $9 million hit to the cap this upcoming season. But when you look on the other side, Russell Okung only has 1 year left on his deal. So you're thinking to yourself, hold up. We traded away a Pro Bowl right guard for a Pro Bowl left tackle who we're really only renting because he only has 1 more season left on his deal. And if you look at the contract situations here, it's kind of confusing to look at. As you can see, for the 2020 season, Trai Turner's cap hit on the team would have been about $12 million. And Russell Okung's is looking at like $16 million. But I think once we get him on our side, it might only be $13 million for this upcoming season. But either way, no matter how you split it, it's going to be more expensive this upcoming year to have Russell Okung on the team than it would be to have Trai Turner. But like I mentioned, it goes deeper than that because when you think about it, Trai Turner does have that $12 million cap hit, which is less than what Russell Okung's going to have this upcoming season. But you probably couldn't get all that much for him if you were to trade him away next year with only 1 more year on his contract. And then he has a $15 million cap hit for the 2021 season. So it looks like we traded him away for left tackle, a position that we really, really do need. And we get an expiring contract so that in 2021, our cap is looking a little bit nicer. It don't hit that hard because there are some very important players who are going to be free agents in 2021. And they could even have some effect on this year's contract negotiations because when you sign a player, you can backload contracts and whatnot. So, this upcoming season, we don't have a lot of cap room. But if we can free up that $15 million from Trai Turner in 2021, we might be able to keep someone this year. Not giving so much money this season, but in 2021 and going forward, they get more money, or there's guys who are going to be free agents in 2021 who we have to decide, are we going to pay those dudes? I mean, coming up very soon, off the top of my head, we have C-Mac, obviously. We have Curtis Samuel coming up very soon. A little bit later on, we have Taylor Moton. There's other guys, obviously. I mean, Cam. If you want to sign Cam and keep Cam, there's going to be some players that you cannot keep on the team. You cannot afford to keep some of these guys on the roster if you want to keep Cam. But getting away from that topic for a minute here, we can just get even more simple here. A very straightforward kind of possibility right here. Maybe saving this money in 2021 allows us a backloaded contract for Greg Van Roten. That way, we have a new left tackle for this year. We can extend our left guard we're stuck with Matt Paradis for the next 2 years. So, and I think Matt Paradis is going to be a little bit better this upcoming season. I have to believe it. Look, I got to believe it. We still have him, Taylor in the right tackle spot. And then we have only the right guard position that is open. And, I mean, we have no guards on the team right now, but we do have 4 tackles. I mean, between Dennis Daly, Greg Little, just Tyler Larson, any of these guys, can any of these guys play right guard even just slightly good? You don't have to be all pro level. You don't have to be Pro Bowl level. You don't have to even be mentionable as one of the better guards in the league. Just do not be mentioned during the game. Y'all ever notice that? The more you hear a guard or a tackle or any lineman's name in a telecast, you hear them being talked about for negative things. Unless you are one of those Pro Bowl, all pro type of guys, no news is good news when it comes to the players on the offensive line. But let's get past the whole overhead of this kind of stuff, talking about what might happen, what could happen, what the philosophy behind what the trade is going to be. Maybe we keep GVR, maybe we can sign Cam, maybe we can look forward to signing Christian McCaffrey to a respectable deal coming up very soon. There's 2 sides to that one, which is just mind-blowing. I mean, how are you going to sell tickets without Cam or Christian McCaffrey? Who knows? We'll get there when we get there. But for right now, let's go ahead and focus on the 2 players who are in this trade, Trai Turner and Russell Okung. For the most part, there aren't really all that clear or really good stats for offensive linemen. Basically, you can only really evaluate them and without using analytics by, their false starts, penalties, holdings, and sacks allowed. There's other things like pressures, other things like assignments missed, some kind of other things like that. There's second and third level analytics to actually evaluate offensive linemen. We're not going to go that deep because honestly, look, man, as long as the biggest thing for O-linemen is do not let your quarterback get hit. Now, C-Mac, he'll do his job on the ground. Just don't get beat every time in the run. You don't have to be the best run blocking lineman on this roster because C-Mac is good enough to get his own. He'll do his thing. All right, he's going to do what he got to do. Don't worry about that. If you're on the Carolina Panthers and you're on the front line, if you are an offensive lineman, your job is to not let up sacks. Now, for the past several years, we can see what Trai Turner's been doing in the league. 3 false starts in 2016, 2 holding penalties, only 2 sacks allowed in 2016, only 1 sack allowed in 2017, 2 sacks allowed in 2018, and 4.5 sacks allowed just this past season. Now, some of that could be because, look, it's kind of hard to do your blocking job the right way when the whole offensive line is not playing at the best level they can, because the O-line it's a team. It's a team within the team, and you have to have synergy, because if one guy misses an assignment, then another guy might be forced to pick that guy up, and then his assignment gets through. Things can happen. You have to be like this in sync if you're on the offensive line, but 4.5 sacks no matter what just does not look all that great. You can see the stats here of Russell Okung. In 2016, he had 3 false starts, 6 holding penalties. You can just see, if you compare the two, Trai is a lot more disciplined when it comes to penalties and especially holdings. But, I mean, look, playing left tackle and right guard, there's at least maybe a little bit of a difference there in the kind of ferocity at which you will be getting rushed and the kind of importance of you protecting your quarterback. So I'll give a little bit, I can really call it even. And even if you say that it's, Trai Turner is obviously better at maintaining his blocks and having good discipline. The big stat I want to look at here, as a left tackle, since 2016, sacks allowed 4, that's not good. 2017, 2. 2018, 2.5. This past season, only 0. No sacks allowed this past season, but he only played in 6 games. Russell Okung only played in 6 games all of last season. And that's because he was kind of injury riddled all of last season. If I'm not mistaken, he didn't play a game until week 7 or 8, maybe even week 9. He played 3 games, was out another game, played 3 more games, and then was out for the rest of the season. That right there is a big issue for me. You kind of just traded away Trai Turner for a left tackle who last year didn't really play. He did not even play half of the games. He almost played just about exactly 1/3 of the games for last year's season. And as a fan, it's kind of concerning when you trade for a guy who's had some injuries just last season and you put him on Cam Newton's blind side, that does not seem to me to be the perfect way to, help this guy out in the last year of his deal. At this point, you kind of just got to hope and pray that there is a plan in place, because right now, I really can't see it. This seems like a pretty even trade on the surface, but there are some very big question marks. Honestly, this brings up more questions than it does answers for me. How healthy will Russell Okung be? Who's our right guard going to be? What are we going to do with our 4 left tackles now? Are we just going to be grooming them? And are we just bringing this guy in to be a 1-year mentor? I mean, we did that last year on the D line. Let's see how those guys turn out. There are a lot of different questions here that I have to ask. Is this just going to be a contract dump kind of issue? What is the plan? And this kind of shakes up the whole draft philosophy as well, because I think a lot of Panthers fans thought the team was going to go left tackle very early in the draft. Maybe not first round, but I think whether or not we picked up a DT or linebacker, obviously Derek Brown or Isaiah Simmons, everyone was thinking that somewhere on the O-line was going to be the next piece to fall. Are we going to sign GVR again and only have 1 spot open? And then that right guard spot, could it be filled by one of our tackles that we have on the roster already? Meaning that maybe we don't actually need to draft an O-lineman. But wouldn't you want, if you're a Cam Newton, or if you're even a fan who wants Cam to be playing on this team, wouldn't you want to maybe have some kind of high value player coming in and blocking for you on the line? I don't know. I'm asking you guys. Let me know all your thoughts in the comments below. And you already know what to do with that like button.
Cheers to you, appreciate the chance. Been told y'all I been the man. Been told y'all I had the gift. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Real ones gonna recommend. Count this as another win.